the next year, Fox 12 is counting down to America's 250th birthday by sharing stories of Pacific Northwest history.
This morning, we're highlighting a mountain lodge that stood since the 1930s and is still serving the travelers it was built for, with nearly a century of stories inside its walls. Perched on the south slope of Mount Hood, towering at nearly 6,000 feet, stands one of Oregon's most iconic landmarks.
This is the chair ski lift that starts right at Timberline Lodge.
Timberline Lodge has watched over Oregon's tallest mountain for nearly 9 decades. Generations of skiers have carved these slopes since 1938.
The huge cableway takes 300 skiers an hour to the top of the mountain's favorite skiing slopes.
The iconic lodge is one of the state's most popular tourist destinations, drawing in nearly 2 million visitors every year. But it's much more than a ski resort. It's a piece of Oregon history, one built in the shadow of the Great Depression.
It was these big, grand projects that gave people, a sense of hope and determination in a time where people really needed true grit.
The lodge was built by hundreds of workers, desperate for jobs, paid 50 to 90 cents an hour, facing brutal conditions. Mother Nature so harsh at times, workers relied on ropes to avoid getting lost. Still, every detail crafted by hand.
The amazing thing is Timberline was built, weathered in, completed in 18 months. So that means working all 4 seasons.
In 1937, its grand opening was honored by none other than President Franklin Roosevelt.
I am here to dedicate Timberline Lodge as a place for generations of Americans to come in the days to come.
Built by hand, born from hardship, and preserved by pride, the lodge tells a story of grit, survival, and craftsmanship, still standing strong nearly 90 years later.
The newel posts on all the stairs, they're repurposed telephone poles. The curtains that you can see in the hotel, and those are modeled after the blankets that the workers were issued. The log holders in the fireplace, those are actually repurposed train tracks.
Years after its grand opening, Timberline Lodge fell into neglect. But in the mid-1950s, Richard Comstam took the reins, determined to save it.
This was after World War II. Timberline Lodge had been shuttered, big disrepair, the place was in rough shape. The Forest Service was going to simply burn it down. Richard Comstam convinced the Forest Service to give it one more go. He worked for 9 years without making a profit. And now the Comstam family still holds the permit and are the operators of the property.
And perhaps the cutest chapter of Timberline Lodge's history are the St. Bernard mascots. Meet Heidi and Bruno. These dogs have become a symbol of Timberline Lodge, carrying on a tradition that dates back to the 1930s.
When Mr. Comstam was here, the dogs basically had the run of the hotel. They would just roam around. And the word is definitely out, and people are, have been coming up specifically to meet the new Bruno the 12th and Heidi the 10th.
These guys are famous.
Whenever we get a new Heidi and Bruno, employees, longtime Timberline employees, apply to basically be their caretakers.
So fluffy.
People come from around the world to see Heidi and Bruno. Heidi and Bruno get sent Christmas gifts during the holidays from guests that have been here. They're clearly the stars of the show, without exception.
These pups aren't the only stars Timberline has produced. The lodge's exterior also had its moment in the spotlight in one of the greatest horror films of all time,
The Shining. We actually keep one of the axes, or a replica, downstairs behind the front desk, that you can take a picture with. We have travelers from around the world coming through the hotel for that reason specifically.
Timberline Lodge is a must-see, where every corner holds a story and legends roam free. Oh, those puppies are so cute. And visiting the lodge is free. You can stop by, walk around. It is worth it for the views and just all the history there.
Easily one of the most iconic buildings in the state.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely.
It's a pretty special place, and it's so cozy during this time of the year with the fireplace.
Many times, it almost went away. They've had small fires there. They've had the part where it was just just kind of sat there vacant.
Yeah. I was waiting for you to say, "Here's Bonnie."
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
The real treasure.
Next time, So thanks for doing it.
Yeah, of course.